Hey family, happy Friday. This is starting to be a daily occurrence, right? Every time I think I'm done, I said I was done, and so somebody told me never say never, and I should know better, right? So I've been thinking, and I was doing Law and Crime this morning, Law and Crime Network. We were chopping it up about some other trials that were being featured on their network live, and then of course the host, Jesse Weber, did the unthinkable and he brought up Amber Guyger. And so, we started talking about that again. And here I am talking about that again. Share this on your timeline, invite your friends, tell a friend, host a watch party, whatever it is you do on your end. I've handled my business on my end. But I just wanted to come and I was thinking about this as I was talking with some friends, still, reeling from the reaction of Botham's 18-year-old brother. I think he's 18. And then when I thought this was all over, two jurors reared their heads. And so now we know that it took them 5 minutes to find her guilty of murder. And the reason it only took them 5 minutes, I would imagine, is because she admitted it, right? She said that before she realized she admitted it, Amber Guyger said that she took that one arm stance and she fired 2 rounds in rapid succession with the intent to hit him in the center ring, center mass, heart area, and doing so would kill him. And she intended to kill him. So 5 minutes, and they found her guilty. Now, I said this the other night. I said, they were sequestered. The jury was sequestered, and so I think they were like, look, if it took 5 minutes to find her guilty, we're not going to fool around on how long she's going to stay in prison. I wonder if they understood when they voted guilty 10 years, that 10 years really didn't mean 10 years. I don't think there was anything about that in the jury instruction. I wonder if they knew that she would be eligible for parole in 5, and in my opinion, she may only do like really 3, right? So they had a female Black juror. She looked to be a millennial type. And one of the things that she said that was really off-putting for me was that, first of all, they were doing what they thought Bo wanted done, and how they know what Bo wants, both of Jean would want, is beyond me. They said they based it on, what the family said. So note to selves, um, forgive all you want, pray for the perpetrator all you want, but keep that to yourself. Because now the jury is inferring that after hearing from the family and hearing the brother say he didn't even want her to go to jail at all, they decided that Bo wouldn't want her to go to jail either. And so for that reason, the female Black juror said that she decided that this was different. She said this case was very different. For those of you who haven't heard it, she said this case was very different from the other cases where police officers shoot Black men. She said specifically that in those other cases where officers shoot Black men, white officers shoot Black men, that they just go right back to living their lives. And this was different because Amber Guyger didn't just go right back to living her life. Really? Seemed like she just went right back to living her life to me, because there was testimony that the shooting occurred on September the 6th, and on September the 8th, she was texting Mrs. Rivera's husband, trying to get him to come over and touch. She was back sexting Mrs. Rivera's husband. So it seemed to me like she had really gone on and was living her life. Why is it every time I get on Facebook with you guys, my nose starts running? It must be these lights. You don't know. You don't understand what I'm under right now. Why I look so amazing and why I glow. It's the lights. Maybe that's why. Anyway, so so this female Black juror said that this was different. Amber didn't just go right back to living her life. She was really showing a lot of remorse, and she was really bothered, and she was not the same, and she'll never be the same. Girl, bye. She's not the same, not because she killed Botham Jean. She's not the same because she knew she was going to lose her job. She's not the same because, in fact, she did lose her job. And so, clearly, this was what they call a compromised verdict. That's the word I was trying to find the other day. Compromised verdict, where they say, okay, we'll find you guilty, but we're not going to give you a whole lot of time. Kind of like what the jury did with the guy, the police officer, the probationary officer that shot and killed Akai Gurley, found him guilty, gave him probation. So, I guess they just decided that, like I said, I think they just wanted to go home. Now, the white guy who was interviewed, he said that he didn't really have the right to speak for Botham, but he did speak for Botham. And he too said that because it was unanimous that they all agreed that Botham wouldn't want her to go to jail. Oh, that makes me mad because that is not okay, Black Dynamite. I see you in the room. Don't come in here with no foolishness. Just seeing your name makes me laugh because I know what you're capable of, and I'm gonna ignore you. He said he didn't want to speak for Bo, but he did speak for Bo in his 10-year sentence. They all spoke for Bo, and they all decided that Bo would want her to get out and have some life left. And I'm just bothered by that. And speaking with some of the other attorneys today on the Law and Crime Network, they were saying that basically the jury didn't follow the instructions. They didn't follow the law. And, that, maybe the prosecutor, how would the prosecutor know they're not going to follow the law? That was the whole point in reading jury instructions. But maybe the prosecutor should have done a better job of telling them not to be caught up in the emotion of everything that was going on. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get comfortable and get in the center of the screen all at the same time. So don't mind me. The prosecutor should have done a better job of telling the jury, don't get caught up in the emotion, follow the law, follow the law, follow the law, because they didn't follow the law. And so that's how they came up with this crazy cockamamie 10-year sentence. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I was thinking about is that, maybe this family is so willing to forgive. Well, number one, they're very religious, they're Christians. But the other thing is they're from St. Lucia. And I think maybe, they don't realize what we feel here about police community interaction, police officers shooting Black and brown folks first and coming up with a reason why later. Maybe they don't, they're not inundated over there with, obviously, I don't think the police in St. Lucia, because they look like me and them, are just wholesale killing folks. And so maybe that's why they were so willing to forgive, because like I said, they're not inundated with those images and the okay, Christian representing the South Side of the kingdom. There's a fool on this thread, and so I'm gonna just say that, you guys, and just understand I'm being tempted to join in with the foolishness, and I'm trying real hard not to. So I think that the family living in St. Lucia may not have the same sensibilities that we have, because they're just not as affected day to day. They're not hearing day in and day out about officers who were involved in shootings, the trial, the subsequent non-conviction. They're not living every day with, Tamir Rice, John Crawford, Ezell Ford, Sandra Bland, Sam DuBose. I could just go on and on with folks who have been harmed and in some cases killed by the police. Walter Scott, Charles Kinsey, not killed, but seriously, but shot and injured in Florida. Corey Jones, right? And so we first hear of the shooting, then we hear of all the foolishness that goes on with, is the officer going to be charged? And then we find out, yeah, they're going to be charged, but they're not going to be charged for this, they're going to be charged for that. And then we sit through a long, protracted trial, and we wait for a conviction or not, right? So we've got so many instances, and this stuff seems so cyclical. It seems to happen so frequently. That's all we see. That's all we know. That's all we hear. And while some of this stuff, even though it's making national news here, I wonder how much of it really gets back to St. Lucia, right? Are they really talking about this day in and day out in St. Lucia? Hey, Marie from Oakland, um, maybe not. And maybe that's why the family was so willing to forgive. That's my take. What do you think? What do you think? Um, I also, have been going back and forth with other attorneys about whether or not the city, the Dallas Police Department, is going to settle up with the family. Now, of course, the Lollipop Kids, they were present after everything was said and done. Everything was over. And oh, by the way, the judge did come out and hug everybody. So it wasn't that she just hugged the side piece. She was giving everybody hugs. And all of that was done outside of the presence of the jury. However, there is some canon B, whatever that is. I read something in that letter that I put up on my timeline for you guys where it says a judge is supposed to act in a certain kind of way at all times, quote, at all times. So even though there was no jury present, the judge still should have been mindful, and she shouldn't have done that old dumb stuff that she did, because, this judicial rule, if you will, this law that speaks to her behavior says that, looking for my notes, says that she should comport herself in a way that doesn't lower public confidence, and carrying on the way she was doing lowers public confidence, or has the ability to. And then the other thing is there's this organization that has already filed. I think there's a couple of people that have written letters in this organization, something about, you can't mix church and state, or, religion and all of that. So there's a few folks beside the ones that look like me and you that are bothered by this. And I don't know what's ultimately going to happen, but they're looking to have there be some kind of redress for the judge. So the family mom spoke again after the sentencing, and what she said is what every family says at a press conference after a loved one has been killed, is that, no other family should have to go through this, and that, something needs to be done. The Dallas Police Department is corrupt. Those are her words. And, the Lollipop Kids were right there, just yes, 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 like they do with every family, and in pursuit of buckets of money. And have we seen the police department really change anything substantively? I don't know. If you have, let me know. Have we seen them really hold officers accountable? Hey Nate, hello. Hey Ron. Have we seen police departments change the way they conduct and comport themselves wholesale? I haven't. So, while that's what the family says, should happen, I don't think for a minute that that's what's going to happen on the Dallas Police Department. They talked about, the training, and I can't wait. I'm really fascinated by the strategy that it seems like they're going to use in this civil suit. The mom talked about this, and I'm assuming that this is what she will say to the Lollipop Kids, and this is what they will pursue. Something about, Amber's training. She had poor training, and she had poor use of training. I don't know if that's going to fly. Amber should not have, she should not be trained to shoot in the heart. Well, listen, that's how police departments are trained. There's 18,000 across the nation, and that's not going to change. They don't teach us good, right, or indifferent. They don't teach us to shoot anybody in the leg, in the foot, in the arm, in the hand. That's not what they teach us. And they are not, police departments across the nation are not about to start changing the way they teach their uniformed officers and their plainclothes officers, their sworn staff, to do anything other than fire center mass. That's what they do. But, that was one of the things that the mom said she thought should be changed. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out, because I said to you guys the other day, and I was having some discussions with my subbies about, this very topic of who's liable. I know why the Lollipop Kids are going for the Dallas Police Department. That's where the money is. I get it. But again, I just don't think that you can, because she was in uniform, because she was using a gun that they issued to her, hold the Dallas Police Department responsible. She was freelancing. And that would be my argument. And this attorney and I were talking today, and he agreed as well that, he thought that that was a good argument to make. Now, will the Dallas Police Department, because of the optics of the whole thing and because of the tensions, and they want to put this behind them, will they give some money to the family without admitting guilt? Because we've seen that happen quite a bit too, where they don't admit guilt, they don't admit any wrongdoing, this don't have nothing to do with us, but because he was a good dude, we're going to go ahead and throw some coin your way. They might do that. How much coin? I don't know. But anyway, we'll see. So I just wanted to kind of, clear that up and Christina, oh Jesus, you think they're gonna start reading the Old Testament? Okay, eye for an eye. Yeah, I'm about the Old Testament too. I had this conversation with my skate wife, Christina Norris, aka Black Dynamite, the one who really should get some professional help. We talked about, the jury probably should have been over in the Old Testament rather in the New Testament when they came up with that 10 years, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm fascinated by it. And as much as I don't want to get sucked back into the civil suit, I don't think that's going to, be on the news. It won't be aired, probably. And I don't even know when they're going to start it. I don't even know if they filed a civil suit yet. And so once they do file the paperwork, they got to go through all the mumbo jumbo, machinations, whatever that is. This civil suit could come up sometime next year or the year after that or 5 years from now, right? No way to know how long they're going to drag it out because they know you guys are going to forget. You guys are going to change channels, and let's be real. Somebody else is going to lose their life before Botham Jean's family gets coin. I hate to promise you that, but I haven't seen anything that makes me think a police department is really interested in doing anything different. I think the system does what the system was designed to do. And so we'll have this conversation again, and and we'll have this conversation again, Christina. I'm not with you. We'll have this conversation again, and there'll be another family who's going to have that same sentiment, going to wish and pray and hope for the police department to do the right thing. And it's just not in them. It's not in them to do the right thing. And I don't really know why they would do anything different on the Dallas Police Department or anywhere else. They've seen that if you come up with a story and you just kind of stick to it, you might come out okay. You may have to go get another job, but you might come out okay. The next one won't go to court and admit, that they did fired 2 rounds in rapid succession to the 10 ring. I think that was that arrogance, that white arrogance that got her up on the stand thinking she could say whatever. And because great deference is given, she'd be okay in front of a jury. But I think at the moment that the prosecutor got her to admit that she intended to kill him, you could almost see it in her eyes like, oh, shoot. Yeah, if you heard a slam, that was her ass slamming shut because she realized at that moment she just sealed her fate. So compromise verdict, you admitted it, but we're not going to send you to jail for the rest of your life. So that's what I think. That's what I wanted to share with you. And if there's another juror that comes out with something to say about this, I promise you, I won't be listening. I really want to step away. So that's that. We're all caught up now, I think. And you guys have a great weekend. If you want to, talk offline, we can do that. I'll entertain you there. I'll engage you there. But I think I'm done here. So you guys have a good week. Have a good weekend. And be good, be safe. We'll talk soon.